It's interesting. We had a gentleman that was on the podcast maybe a year ago now, but a PhD, and he actually proved exactly what you're saying is that if we focus on our employees and create the right culture for them and that employee engagement rises, he saw that customer engagement rose and so did revenue. So everything that you're talking about here has a very direct correlation directly to the bottom line of the business. But leaders don't always see that. Like the executive team doesn't always see that. In fact, a lot of the time, we're more looked upon as a support department. We have a hard time getting a seat at the table. Yet I have definitely talked to CEOs and executive team members that are huge believers in the power and what you're talking about, but there is still this gap. And a lot of us that are listening in here are having to deal with this leadership gap. In your mind, what is that gap and what do we do?
So I want to come back to that gap in just a moment, but I received my doctorate degree this year, and my dissertation was around leadership in diverse U.S. contact centers and the impact on retention and morale. And what I found, as you just mentioned, is that when we are transparent with pay, when we are open about expectations, when we meet people where they are, retention increases and so does morale. And what is the bottom line with those two? We know that when the morale is high, again, it goes back to productivity, it goes back to profitability for the organization, it goes back to happier clients, as you just mentioned. When we talk about retention, we talk about the cost of replacing individuals over and over again, whether they leave on their own or because they're not happy and not producing, we manage them out. In any event, when we have retention that is increased and morale increase, it makes a tremendous difference in the bottom line results of the organization. And so when you talk about leadership not really understanding that, it's important that they actually have the ability to see how everything aligns to the profitability of their EBITDA. We have employees who are producing more. We're bringing on more clients. We're increasing revenue. Our EBITDA increases, and profitability is what every organization wants. Again, it ties back to the people. And so if we can help leaders determine what the gap is, and rather it's the fact that we're not offering employees what they actually need, that we're not investing in their development, that we're not investing in the engagement of the employees, whatever that gap is, it will behoove all of us to identify it very quickly in each organization and build a bridge to close that gap. Because again, the investment in the people is the investment in the organization. The return on investment, investing in people will show up in the results all day long, all the time.